I'm so glad that we're almost ready to drink, but not yet. Wait, what do you mean we're already past that point?
Microsoft and their silly shenanigans, I wonder what they're up to now. I can't believe it's been that long since the launch of the system. Over 20 years, that's a long time, and we have to celebrate an important achievement.
Soap?
But how did we get to this point? Well, a child is born somehow. The original Xbox, a funny looking console with its green aesthetic, futuristic tone, and the X shape. Microsoft was a bit late to the party that generation since it came out a year after the PS2, but this didn't stop them from trying even harder. I remember those times. I wasn't born yet. But if they wanted to have a pillar in the console market, then they'd had to act fast. So the Xbox 360's development started in early 2003.
Your newborn's not ready for a sibling yet?
They had their focus on using familiar technology like your family computer and using that as a base for the system. This was way different from what Sony was doing next door. Cell processor, what is this, 2030? But finally, the Xbox 360 released on November 22nd, 2 years after development started. It's a 2005 baby.
Sounds familiar.
This has one of the most unique designs for a console ever. A detachable hard drive, memory cards, USB ports, a sleek yet X-shaped console. The console blew everything out of the water. We have a total of 17 launch titles in North America alone, including Call of Duty 2, Perfect Dark Zero, Quake 4, Need for Speed, and various sports games.
That's the entirety of the Wii U's library.
This was not a bad selection for launch titles, and with the Xbox 360 releasing a full year before the PS3 and Wii, that means we get to see true next-gen power before the competition. This is not what I thought it would be like. While this console is capable of so much, it takes time for developers to use that potential. The early games look like PS2 era games, but now in widescreen, and there's nothing wrong with that. Only a few hiccups here and there, like Call of Duty 2 had slowdowns and weird controls, but there was hope to be an impressive gaming machine. Overall, the lineup I think was hit or miss. The games I really got into back in the day was GTA 4, Kinect Adventures, Kinect Joyride, and Just Dance 3. Back then, we were primarily a PlayStation 3 household, and I would often visit my aunt's house to play Xbox 360 there. I didn't realize at the time that this console would become a whole era of childhood fun. I've dipped my hands into both sides of the spectrum since then, and playing a game on PS3 would be mostly the same experience as 360. But where things really changed was online. Just hold out a little bit longer. Xbox Live has so many great things that it brought to the table. Party chat, online gaming, achievements, arcade games. Paying a few dollars a month, you had access to all of that. Xbox Live had been out for a little while with the original Xbox, and since it launched alongside the 360 for online support, it had enough time to iron out any bugs and be right there ready to go when you buy the console. Being able to play with your friends no matter if they're right next door or halfway across the world, this was revolutionary for the time. We don't have to be stuck in the same room. Finally, I can play Cars 3 the video game with my friends from anywhere. One big part of it was online chat where you could talk to each other while playing the game so you don't miss a thing. Now the Xbox 360 is also compatible with a good chunk of the original Xbox's library. This would be done by software emulation, and sure, this would pose some issues, but overall, it made the games work on new hardware and even gave enhancements to them like widescreen and HD support. Conquer, Live and Reloaded, Battle for Bikini Bottom, and SpongeBob Movie were the ones that I was able to get working for sure. Not all games are going to work, so if you want the best compatibility, then keep your old Xbox aside. But if the games work within that range, then this would do just fine. In addition to the online play, we have the Xbox Store, something very new at the time. Originally used to download Xbox Live arcade games, these little bite-sized games just to pick up and play for 5 minutes, then move on to the next one, but eventually this would get upgraded to games on demand. Full retail releases that you don't need to stick in your copy of Fallout New Vegas to play it. All you had to do is just wave your hand and the Xbox is now alive.
Whoa!
Despite what bad may come from the 360, the Kinect was something that set itself apart from the crowd. This is a full motion camera that tracks your entire body. Rather than holding a piece of plastic and easily being exploitable, 3 cameras made things way more accurate to tell what you're doing at what point. One of the best examples of this was the Just Dance series. Being able to fully track your body meant you had to do the exact moves. Sure, the Wii Remote worked in a similar way, and the PS Move was just being the PS Move, but the Kinect had more interactivity with these games. There's even a microphone built in so that you don't have to put on a headset for online chats or certain gameplay mechanics in games like Halo Combat Evolved.
Don't start.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is kind of underwhelming. When the games use it, it's the greatest accessory for the 360, but if they put it in like an afterthought, then it's just not worth it. Needless to say, this thing was awesome to use, but it makes it useless if the console doesn't work. The Xbox 360 had one major problem during production, is that the vast majority of consoles were dying before they even made it off the shelf. The Red Ring of Death is what what we call it, and this is not fun. The models that were most prone to this was the original launch models, which mine actually did experience this firsthand.
And he wasn't the same after that.
I don't know how, but my console had gotten the red ring of death. At that point, the console was supposed to be donezo, but it came back to life. It's due to some sort of overheating issue with the components on the inside, which they were not being properly checked, and that definitely didn't help the Xbox 360 out. It's only a matter of time before this happens again, but I have no clue what happened to revive the console.
I have a heart of pure gold, that's why.
Now, if you didn't want to be active and just wanted to play like the everyday person, then the Xbox 360 controller has your back. This is how every controller should be. Easy to understand, you have color-coded buttons on here, so if a game tells you press A, then you immediately know, oh, I need to press green. Thumbstick placement has been all over the place throughout history, but I think this is where the placement should be. Two of the main things you're going to be using is the analog stick and the face button, so it makes sense to put them at the same height. I don't know what they were taking, but it made them craft a masterpiece of a controller.
I've always preferred this one over the PS3 controller.
Everything about this console was looking like it would be smooth sailing. This was going to be one of the greatest out there, and with the PS3 having an overpriced system that developers neglected, this was going to be the one. While Microsoft was at the top of their game, they wanted to be in every household, but as an entertainment machine. The Xbox 360 got a slimmer version in 2010 as the 360S to bring the price down and fix any issues the launch model had, but that also came with a shift in marketing. No longer that this was being targeted to gamers, but now the everyday person. A major home screen overhaul and the addition of Netflix and other services on here now. I can finally watch my Madagascar DVD on here. That is so cool. I wonder if it could play my Sonic Unleashed disc. Now, an all-in-one machine for gaming, music, and TV, it's not a bad idea, just only if you didn't leave gaming out of the question. Gaming was still a focus for the console, just not the main focus. We still got heavy bangers like Halo 3, Sonic Generations, and Call of Duty, but remember that PlayStation had tried something very similar at the beginning of their console's life, and it didn't work out for them, so why would it work here? Microsoft was really pushing movie entertainment and the Kinect everywhere, because Sony took that as an opportunity to redesign their console and take advantage of the situation. From that point on, everything was just kind of sailing from there. They didn't do anything crazy, there was no news of anything coming out of Microsoft for a while. There were rumors of a new console on the horizon, something that screamed next generation for Microsoft. That wasn't it, but that'll do instead. In 2013, we have the final redesign that made the console even cheaper and the variant of the Xbox 360e, which looks better than the PS3 Super Slim, but was still designed after the Xbox One and another home menu overhaul. I really don't know what they wanted to spend more time on, live TV or redesigning their home menu. This was to make something that matched the other console that they was releasing later that year, but I don't get it. This would make things confusing on which one to buy. Look, Billy, I got your new Xbox One. I think I'm dyslexic, but it'll be fine. And what pours salt on the wound is that the Xbox One was rumored to need online functionality and the Xbox One Connect in order to even function, in which they said if you didn't have internet, then just get an Xbox 360. We don't care. What are you talking about? I already have the Xbox 360. Is that why you had to release the next-gen only experience Watch Dogs game on Xbox 360 as well, because you felt bad for those who couldn't get internet?
Yeah, my lawyer says that's not how next generation experiences work, Microsoft.
This was still a good console, and with mine still holding strong all these years later, I for sure know that this was the one.
Reed got to Microsoft too quickly. Their tactics seem a bit ridiculous now. I'd like to see your reaction to their E3 2011 press conference. I loved this console and I still love it now. And with the modding scene expanding every passing day, there are loads of opportunities for this system. And now as a final word to my PS3, don't be jealous, PS3.